My beloved child. Before you continue listening, allow your heart to become still for just a moment. Something important may be changed. Not because the world suddenly became different, but because a hidden season that has been quietly moving around you is finally reaching its destination. There are moments that arrive without making noise. They do not knock on the door. They simply stand beside you, waiting until you are ready to notice them. This is one of those moments. You may have felt restless without knowing why. You may have questioned small changes in your thoughts, your emotions, or even the unexpected silence that surrounded certain situations. None of those moments were meaningless. Every delay, every unanswered question, every unexpected pause has been preparing the ground for something your eyes could not yet recognize. Listen with peace. Do not rush ahead. Every sentence you hear today carries a piece of a larger picture. By the end, what seems confusing now may begin to make perfect sense. Stay with these words, because something important is waiting to reveal itself step by step. There is something that many people overlook. The greatest changes rarely begin with loud celebrations. They begin in complete silence. Imagine standing before a sunrise while the entire world is still asleep. The light appears slowly. At first, almost nobody notices it. Then, little by little, darkness loses its strength. That is exactly what has been happening around your life. You have been expecting dramatic signs, while the real transformation has been unfolding quietly behind ordinary days. Every small conversation, every unexpected delay, every closed opportunity, every peaceful moment you almost ignored. They have all been connected in ways that only become visible later. This is why you were asked to listen with peace. Fear cannot recognize what peace can easily understand. Anxiety rushes toward answers. Peace patiently receives them. And there is a reason this message reached you today instead of yesterday. Timing changes everything. What seemed impossible before may suddenly become understandable now. But there is still one hidden detail that has not fully appeared. That detail changes the meaning of everything that came before it. Now think carefully. Have you noticed how certain people slowly disappeared from your daily life without any argument? Have you noticed how certain plans quietly faded even though you worked hard for them? At the time, those moments may have felt disappointing. But what if they were actually making space? What if something valuable could never arrive until unnecessary weight had already left your path? Sometimes life protects you by removing what your emotions wanted to keep. Sometimes silence protects you more than immediate answers ever could. There is a quiet rearrangement taking place that most people never recognize until much later. One more truth deserves your full attention. Not every answer arrives through extraordinary events. Some answers arrive through a calm feeling that cannot be explained. A gentle confidence begins replacing old uncertainty. A strange peace appears where worry once lived. New opportunities seem to appear from directions you never expected. These are not random moments. They are signs that invisible preparation is becoming visible reality. The remarkable part is that you do not need to force this process. You only need to remain awake enough to recognize it. There will soon be a conversation, a decision, or a simple moment that feels completely ordinary at first. Yet later, you will look back and realize that everything changed because of that single moment. That is why every word today matters. Nothing has been spoken by accident. Every sentence is guiding your attention toward the place where the next chapter quietly begins. But the most surprising part has not been revealed yet. There is still one final piece waiting to connect everything together, and once it appears, you will understand why this message reached you exactly when it did. As you continue listening, keep your heart steady and your thoughts peaceful. Do not allow impatience to interrupt what is slowly becoming clear. The greatest revelations are often missed by those who rush toward the ending. But you are still standing at the beginning of something remarkable. What has been hidden is preparing to become visible. What seemed delayed is preparing to move. What appeared ordinary is preparing to reveal extraordinary meaning. This is not the conclusion. This is only the first glimpse behind a door that has remained closed for longer than expected. Beyond that door is an understanding that changes how you remember the past and how you step into the future. The next part will uncover the unexpected connection that has been quietly shaping every recent event around you. When that connection becomes clear, you may realize that nothing happened by chance, and the change you have been waiting for has already begun. A quiet truth is about to rise into the light. Until now, you have only seen scattered pieces. Soon, those pieces will begin fitting together in a way that feels almost impossible to ignore. This is why you were asked to remain peaceful. Excitement can become as distracting as fear. A calm heart notices details that a hurried mind always misses. Somewhere within the ordinary rhythm of your recent days, a silent turning point has already taken place. You may not have recognized it because it did not arrive with dramatic signs. Instead, it entered your life through small moments that appeared completely normal. A delayed reply. An unexpected meeting. A forgotten memory returning without warning. A simple feeling that stayed with you longer than usual. None of those moments stood alone. They were quietly connected by a purpose that has been unfolding beyond what your eyes could see. But your attention is being gently redirected toward what truly matters. You are being reminded that peace is not weakness. Peace is clarity. Peace allows you to notice what panic can never recognize. There will soon be a moment when your first instinct tells you that nothing important is happening. Yet that ordinary moment will quietly become the doorway through which remarkable change begins to enter your life. It may seem small in the beginning. Almost too simple to matter. But time will reveal that everything started there. The smallest key can unlock the largest door. The quietest conversation can redirect an entire future. The calmest decision can create the strongest foundation. This is why every step from this point forward deserves your full attention. Something extraordinary is approaching without making unnecessary noise. Before this part comes to its close, hold on to one final thought. Never underestimate what has been taking place beyond your immediate understanding. The silence was never empty. The waiting was never meaningless. The pauses were never forgotten. Every hidden movement has been carrying you closer to a moment that will feel both surprising and strangely familiar, as though your heart always knew it would eventually arrive. But one mystery still remains untouched. There is a final layer behind everything you have heard so far, and that hidden layer explains why this change could never have happened at any earlier time. When it is finally revealed, the entire message will become clearer than ever before. The next part uncovers that missing layer, and once it does, the meaning behind every quiet season will stand before you with unmistakable clarity. Everything has been leading toward this realization, even though it remained hidden until now. There are seasons when answers stay silent because they are still becoming complete. If they arrived too early, they would create confusion instead of clarity. But now a new perspective is beginning to unfold. Look back over the last chapter of your life for a moment. Notice how certain events that once felt disconnected now seem to echo one another. A lesson learned in one place prepared you for an opportunity somewhere else. A delay that seemed frustrating protected you from moving before the right time. A quiet day that appeared ordinary became the beginning of a completely different direction. None of these moments were standing alone. They were connected like pieces of a carefully designed path. The remarkable truth is that the path was being built while you were still wondering where it would lead. That is why your heart is being invited to remain peaceful. A peaceful heart can recognize the design long before the destination fully appears. Something even more meaningful deserves your attention. There are moments when life does not change because circumstances become easier. It changes because your vision becomes clearer. Once clarity enters your heart, fear begins losing its influence. Doubt becomes quieter. Hope becomes stronger. You begin noticing possibilities where you once saw only obstacles. This shift may seem invisible to everyone around you, yet it transforms everything within you. And once your inner direction changes, your outward journey naturally follows. Think about a traveler crossing unfamiliar land. The moment they receive the correct map, the road itself has not changed. The mountains remain. The rivers remain. The distance remains. Yet confidence replaces uncertainty because the direction is finally understood. That is what is quietly happening now. You are receiving understanding before receiving the full outcome. This order is important. Understanding prepares you to recognize the opportunity when it finally appears, instead of overlooking it because it arrived in an unexpected form. There is also someone whose path has been quietly shifting. Whether their role is large or small, their decisions are moving closer to a moment that will intersect with yours. They may not realize how important that meeting, conversation, or simple exchange will become. You may not recognize it immediately either. At first, it may seem like just another ordinary day. But later, when you look back, you will see that it marked the beginning of something far greater than anyone expected. This is why patience has never been your enemy. Patience has been creating the perfect distance between preparation and fulfillment. Every meaningful story contains a chapter where nothing appears to happen, yet that chapter quietly carries the weight of everything that follows. You have been living inside one of those chapters. Now its purpose is beginning to reveal itself. What once appeared still has actually been moving with quiet determination all along. Now listen closely, because this next thought may remain with you long after these words end. The future often sends gentle signals before it fully arrives. A feeling that refuses to disappear. An unexpected sense of calm. A renewed desire to move forward even without seeing every answer. These quiet signals are invitations to trust the process already unfolding around you. You are not being asked to understand every detail today. You are simply being invited to recognize that the story is larger than the page you are currently reading. Every chapter gains its meaning from the ones that follow it. The remarkable part is that the next chapter has already begun, even if its full picture has not yet appeared. Every passing day is revealing another piece. Every peaceful decision is strengthening the foundation beneath your future. The closer you move toward that future, the more obvious today's message will become. You will remember these words and realize they were pointing toward something real long before you could fully recognize it. As this part comes to its close, keep one truth safely within your heart. Never mistake quiet preparation for absence. Never mistake waiting for stillness. Never mistake hidden movement for forgotten purpose. What has been developing beyond your sight is now moving closer to becoming visible than ever before. The change you sensed at the beginning of this journey is no longer distant. It is approaching with steady steps. The final pieces are drawing together. Very soon, the reason behind every pause, every unexpected turn, and every unanswered question will begin forming one complete picture. And when that picture is finally revealed, you will understand why you were first asked to listen with peace before anything else was said.